within the company. Most people have been through unemployment and job searches themselves. You may be surprised how many people will give you a brief interview to talk about their own experiences. And remember, the primary goal of cold calling is to make yourself visible and known to a potential employer before they get to the stage of making a job opening public. To show you how a cold call might work, let's look at a quick demonstration.
Hello, my name is Jessica. I am an experienced, trained office manager, and I have worked in the transportation industry for over 5 years. I'm currently looking for a new position where I can use my skills to help improve the operation of a company like yours. I understand you are the general manager for Ace Trucking. Would you have a half an hour when we can talk?
I'm sorry, we already have an office manager who's been with us for about 8 years. I'm not looking to replace her, and I really don't have any other openings at this time.
I understand, but I am really interested in learning more about how your company works and the type of person who is successful in your industry. Would you be willing to give me a few minutes just to talk about your experience?
I'll tell you what, why don't you come in next week and we can sit down and talk about it. I'll be in the office on Monday afternoon.
Thank you. I really appreciate your time. Would 2:30 work for you on Monday?
Remember, under the new definition, you've just won an interview. And even if it doesn't turn into an immediate job, you've expanded your personal network of contacts in the specific industry where you want to work. And who knows, maybe the current office manager is about to resign and the boss doesn't even know it yet. You could be in the right place at the right time.
Now let me begin with the idea of job hunting, with the emphasis on hunting. If you're hunting, you always have your eyes open. You're always looking for something going on so you can hunt down what it is you're looking for, right? Well, in a similar way, job hunting or job searching is very much the same process. And what happens is people will get kind of closed off to the opportunities that are right around them. And what can be very true is within, say, 5 miles of where you live, there's someone out there who's willing to hire and able to hire someone with your skills. You may go by them every day and just don't have your head in gear and say, well, you know, could I drop into this office building and find out if they have this or that type of organization there? It's an assertive technique, but you can do it. Let's say you have automotive skills. Would there be any place nearby as you're driving to and from that might use a person with automotive skills? Of course. And you can get into tougher skills or ones that are in more limited supply and demand, or more specialized, but still very often there are opportunities around you. You go to an interview, keep your eyes open and say, on the way back, are there any other places I could stop into? Well, stop at the place, knock on the door, go in, ask for the person in charge and say, hi, I was just passing by here and I wanted to tell you that I have these skills and I'm wondering who's in charge. And set up an interview. You say, this may not be a good time now, but I think what you'll find in many organizations, sometimes there'll be a national organization with a branch office locally. It could be a huge organization, much more accessible than you go into their big corporate website. And suddenly you'll find doors opening for you, people talking to you. What you're doing is you're getting in before there's a job opening. That person who you met may not have an opening today, but if they liked you, they're going to consider you above everyone else. It's a good example of how I'm defining what counts as an interview, because all the other people that are sitting at home conducting a more traditional job search are waiting for the job to open, to be advertised, to be posted on the web before they go in. And what you're doing is you're going in, talking to people before that possibility even exists. So that job will probably be going to you, assuming that you're going to the right places and doing a reasonably good job with your presentation. Those positions will be filled by you and will never be advertised. So this is taking advantage of opportunities, getting in there before the jobs are advertised.
Working in today's job market means you're most likely going to be looking for a new job more than once in your career. In this video, we've discussed many ways to help you find the right job and get it in less time.
Well, personal referrals, to me, solidify that impression of somebody. If they look good on paper and if they look good in a personal interview, if I know someone who knows this person, that person is more likely to give me an informal assessment of the candidate. If I explain further what the job's all about, then I'm sure this person can make an assessment. Well, I think she would be very good for this job because of these reasons. A personal referral also might give you an indicator of what the person's weaknesses are. And let's face it, nobody's perfect. So if I can understand that this person has certain weaknesses and they're not necessarily a barrier for job performance, then that gives me a good heads up on what I could be working with this person when I hire him or her.
You could oftentimes reach a job opportunity prior to it being listed in the newspaper or even on television by creating and working your network. If there are certain companies you want to work for, find out if you have friends that work there or relatives that work there, and oftentimes they have a job posting board. They can let you know what's up on that board. So it kind of beats the external marketing of the position, or it may be at the same time, which is okay. But at least you have someone on the inside of different organizations looking out for you.
Well, when I graduated from college, I wanted to get a job in an advertising agency. So what I did was, and I knew I wanted to move to St. Louis, Missouri, so I took a stack of resumes, looked up all the ad agencies in St. Louis, and I just made cold calls on all of them. And the thing that I knew fundamentally, and not even having had the experience in job search before, but I knew that it was the receptionist I needed to make an impression on. Because the receptionist then talks to the person in charge of hiring and says, well, this person called on us today and she left her resume, and let me tell you something about this person. She was energetic and right on. You probably ought to really see her. You are the product. You're not selling a widget, you're not selling a Buick, you're not selling a service that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're selling yourself, and you've had to live with yourself for X number of years. So if anyone knows your product, it's you. You are the expert on yourself. And just know that going in.
There's a lot of good research out there that says the most effective job search and seekers are those who conduct and use multiple techniques. So I don't care what the technique is, whether it's networking, going online, responding to want ads, any of them, they work for some people. But the most effective way to conduct a job search is to conduct a job search that consists of a variety of techniques. You can use the passive techniques, which are reading want ads and going on web, but you should also be using active techniques. And you need to adjust your time so that you're spending time on techniques that tend to have better effectiveness rates attached to them. And that is making direct contacts with employers, and setting up interviews in a direct way rather than an indirect way. So putting all that together, you just have to be creative, always open to opportunities, and going after any way you can to talk to employers who may or may not have a job opening for you today. Counts as an interview, and if you do that, you get a job before the other guy.
In addition to this video, there are dozens of other resources available to help you in your job search. We recommend that you start with the companion book, The Very Quick Job Search by Michael Farr. In the book, you'll find more details and exercises on many of the topics we've discussed here. We hope this video has helped change your perspective on your personal job search. And with a little bit of luck, your new job search strategy should land you the job of your dreams in no time.